Hello there, and welcome to Wish Fulfillment Customer Service. How can I assist you today? You're having an issue with your Genie? That's no problem. I'm sure that with a little bit of information we can get everything all cleared up. Exactly what sort of an issue are you having? Your wishes aren't turning out the way that you'd hoped? Okay, that's a very common issue, and I'm sure that we can get to the bottom of it here. Let me just get a little bit of basic information from you. How long have you had your Genie? Yes, how long have you, since you found the item that contained the Genie and since you released it? Okay. And how did you acquire your Genie? Was this something that you found, something that you inherited? Did a Genie choose you to be their master? Okay. What was that? Oh yes, we use all of the most up-to-date modern technologies. Why use a feather and a scroll when you could simply digitally input your information? We Genies may have been around for thousands of years, but we are certainly with the times, so everything is now digitized in our customer service department. Now, is your particular Genie a lamp Genie, a bottle Genie, a ring Genie, or perhaps some other type of object? What kind of object does your particular Genie dwell in? Okay. And how long did you have it before you opened it or, caused the Genie to emerge from the object? Okay. And was the Genie something that came out of the object immediately? Was it kind of a slow mover? Did it just linger as a cloud of smoke for an abnormally long amount of time? Or did it just pop right out of the object? Okay. Speaking of smoke, did it just appear from the object, or was there a puff of smoke that accompanied the emergence of your Genie? Okay. And what color was that smoke? Okay. And was your Genie male, female? You're not really sure. Okay. And what is your Genie's name? Genie? Okay. Yes, some Genies do have different names. Generally, Genie is the common name for a Genie, but once in a while there's a Genie that either is given a different name or adopts a different name. It's fairly rare, but, it does help us home in a little bit for our informational purposes. Alright, let's see now. What age is your Genie? Yes, have they happened to mention, how long they've either been alive or been a Genie or what have you? Because sometimes newer Genies don't really have the skill level that more experienced Genies have. And, they might not be quite as adept at granting wishes as some of the more experienced, more mature Genies. So it does help us to know exactly what your Genie's age is and see if that in itself is the problem. Okay. Yeah, so not a real old Genie sounds like. Let's see, did your Genie, the temperament, did they seem to be friendly or unfriendly? Maybe even more than unfriendly? What would you say your Genie's temperament was? Initially, yes. Okay. And would you say your Genie's temperament is the same, or has it changed since you have been living with the Genie? Okay. same. Now, a little bit of user info. Is this your first time having a genie? It is, okay. And now you said that you're having a problem with getting your wishes fulfilled exactly the way you want them to be fulfilled. Is that correct? Okay. Now, are there any previous wishes that you made that were properly fulfilled? So, like, obviously you said that there are some recent wishes you've made that have not entirely been fulfilled to your liking. Were there any earlier wishes that were fulfilled, I don't want to say properly, but, you know, to your liking, the way you wanted? Okay. Now, your particular genie, kind of got to find out what model it is. Did your genie give you unlimited wishes, or is there a wish limit from your genie? Okay. And how many wishes is the limit? Okay, so not too constrictive. And are you able to wish for more wishes? No. Okay. Now, do you have any friends or family who might have had a genie at one point, so that you know, would have had some kind of experience with a genie? Or is this totally your first experience with genie magic? First experience? Okay. And now, the wishes in question, the ones that weren't fulfilled to your liking, do you think that that was intentional on the genie's part? Or do you think it was probably just accidental? Accidental, okay. Have you tried unwishing what you wished for? You have. Okay, great. And how did that work out? It created additional problems? Okay. Have you tried putting the genie in the bottle and letting it back out again? You did try that. Okay, good. Well, you're right on the usual fixes here, so. Now, when did you first notice that there was a problem with your wishes? So, like, did you immediately notice that your wish had been fulfilled incorrectly? Or was it perhaps something where the wish was fulfilled and you thought it was all right, but as time went on, you kind of realized that something wasn't quite right and you realized that the wish had been fulfilled incorrectly? Okay. And how many wishes have you made thus far? Okay. And have they all been completely incorrect? Or some of them, have some of them been slightly to your liking, you know, maybe not as incorrect as the others? Okay. And are some of the accidental fulfillments more severe than others? Or are they all extremely severe? Okay. Okay, so what was one of the wishes that you made? What was your first wish that went awry? You wished for $1 million? Okay, yes, it's a very, very common wish that our genies get asked to grant. Did you receive the $1 million? You did, okay. And so then, what exactly went wrong with that wish? The $1 million ended up being stolen? Okay, now when you say the $1 million was stolen, does that mean it was money that had already been stolen? Or, like, did the genie conjure it from a bank vault, something like that? It was conjured from somewhere, so then it became stolen? Okay. And what consequences did this have? When you tried to use some of the money it set off alarm bells because the serial numbers were recognized? Okay, and that's how you realized it was stolen? Okay. Yeah, so that's actually a very common problem in wish fulfillment. That is something that we call master error or user error, and that is where you, the wish maker, fail to give the genie enough details or examples of exactly what you want, so they very literally fulfill your wish without perhaps knowing exactly the way you would like to have it fulfilled, especially in the case of newer genies. Their magic is not quite as adept as some of the more mature, more experienced genies, so they tend to use things to the best of their magical abilities. So if you don't particularly ask for, $1 million in new, clean, freshly manifested money, they are likely to just pull from whatever is close because it's easier on their magical levels. And when that happens, you sometimes end up with what you have here, this user error situation where you've ended up with $1 million from your local bank, and now you are in great trouble. So you really want to be very clear, very specific on exactly how you want your wish to be when you have a genie as young as yours is. So, what was the second wish that went wrong? You wish to be famous? Yeah, that's also a very common wish, and I'm guessing that that didn't go quite how you wanted either, otherwise you probably wouldn't be here. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, so what happened with that one? Your face ended up on a wanted poster? Okay, yeah, so once again, that would be user error. The genie very literally fulfilled your desire to be famous. Obviously, if you are on a wanted poster, you are famous in a negative way, but still famous. So the genie simply fulfilled exactly what you asked for. I take it you didn't specify exactly how you wanted to be famous when you made the wish. Yeah, again, not doing specifics with newer genies can lead to some wishes being fulfilled, literally, but perhaps in a way that you'd rather they weren't fulfilled. So, do you have any other wishes that went wrong? You wished for the perfect partner, and how did that turn out? Your genie manifested a dog. Okay, well, once again, user error. You probably should have specified that you were looking for a human partner, and probably given the specifics of, things like that, exactly what you're looking for in a perfect partner, because in the literal sense, a dog really is the perfect partner. It's not going to argue with you or want to change the color of your curtains or anything like that. So, again, the genie very literally gave you exactly what you asked for, a dog, which is the perfect partner. So again, user error, you probably should have been a little more specific in your partner desires so that the genie could fulfill exactly what you wanted. Okay, and how did your fourth wish turn out? You wished for a new car? Yep, another very common wish, and how did that go? Well, you were driving a beater, and the genie simply made that car new again? Okay, so I take it you were probably driving like a brand that you weren't really that interested in, just kind of a, cheaper model, affordable car that maybe wasn't as flashy as you were hoping when your genie made it new again. Is that correct? Yeah. Once again, a little bit of user error, and of course we're not judging you for your, master error here because just like new genies have trouble granting wishes the way you want them to be fulfilled, new masters also have a little bit of a learning curve as well. You really do need to learn how to make wishes, particularly with new genies. So, we don't blame you at all for not knowing that if this is your first experience with a genie. But like again, in the case of the car, probably should have requested like a certain brand and certain model rather than just new car, because the genie very literally gave you a new car of the car that you were already driving. So, and what was the fifth thing that you wished for? You wished for a castle? Oh, that's always a fun wish when it is granted the way you want. And how was your wish granted in this particular instance? The genie gave you a small model of the castle that you wanted. Okay, yeah. So once again, user error. The genie gave you a castle. You didn't specify that you wanted a full-size castle. Got to be very specific. So, and that was the last of your wishes, correct? Okay, great. Well, yeah. So all of that just sounds like a simple case of master user error. And it's fairly easy to overcome. You just have to learn how to word your wishes better. Now, since some of your wishes didn't turn out the way you'd like, and you do have a limited number, we can refund you half of your wishes if you'd like, and then you can remake your wishes, hopefully using, a little bit more specific language to get them to turn out the way you'd like. Is that something you'd like me to go ahead and process? Yes, unfortunately we can only refund half of the wishes you've used. And since you've used an odd number, we will refund the greater amount. So you'll receive 3 of your wishes back. We do have to have, the other 2 wishes used because, again, this was something of a case of user error. It wasn't totally malicious intent by the genie. If it was malicious, then we would refund all your wishes. But since it was, partially user error, we can only refund half of your wishes, but you'll receive 3 of those wishes back, and you can remake them. And then, of course, you do get to keep the remainder of all the wishes that you have not used yet. So shall I go ahead and process that? Okay. Now, if you are interested, we can have a replacement genie sent to you. You just need to bring your current genie to us, and we can exchange the genie for you. There is a small exchange fee. How much is that? Let me see. It's not too bad. It's only 1,000 gold pieces to exchange your genie. It's a little bit out of your budget. Okay, no problem. So you'll just be sticking with your current genie then? Okay, yes, and I have refunded, like I say, half the wishes, so I have refunded those 3 wishes, so you'll be able to remake those wishes, as well as complete the rest of your allotted wishes. And again, you just want to really be more specific in your wishes. Genies tend to be very literal creatures until they learn otherwise, and so you having a younger genie, it's probably still taking things very literally. So be more specific in your requests. Maybe have, a little conversation with your genie while you're making a wish. Try to help them understand exactly what it is that you would like your wish, the method that you would like your wish to be granted by. And if you'd like, we can also send a senior Wishcraft training technician out to you at no cost at all. Oh no, not witchcraft, Wishcraft. Witchcraft is an entirely different department, staffed by entirely different beings. No, this is the Wish department, and so this would be Wishcraft, a senior Wishcraft technician. What is a senior Wishcraft technician? Well, a Wishcraft technician is an older, more mature, more experienced genie who has a lot of experience in the art of granting wishes, or wishcraft, and we can send one of them to have some conversations with your genie. Your genie being only 600 years old, it's still a very, very young genie, so it does not have the practice and experience that a more mature genie will have. So our senior wishcraft technician can give your genie some training sessions in the nuances of human wish fulfillment, and help them understand human requests a little better, so that they realize that humans don't always want exactly literally what they wish for. Humans tend to have a bit more generalization, and they're not quite so literal. So the senior wishcraft technician can give your genie some training sessions and help them understand all of that. Correct. Again, there is absolutely no cost to you. You would like to do that? Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Find a good date here. Would a week from Tuesday work for you? We have a 3 o'clock, a 5 o'clock, and a 7 o'clock. PMs, yes. Okay, the 7? Okay. Just get that scheduled for you. Okay, so our senior wishcraft technician will see you a week from Tuesday at 7 p.m. and they will just appear in your living room, so you don't have to worry about answering the door or anything. They'll just let themselves in and start talking to your genie and giving them their training sessions. We do have to impress upon you that you should not make any more wishes before the senior wishcraft technician gives the training sessions to your genie, because any additional wishes that you make will be void. We cannot refund those if you use them before the genie has been properly trained, because that will be well beyond user error. That will be you taking a chance, knowing that you have a untrained genie. So please refrain from making any additional wishes until your genie has been properly trained. In the meantime, have we helped you solve your current problem? Okay, great. Just going to put down yes. And is there anything else that we can help you with today? No? Okay, well then, you are all set, and please help yourself to some refreshments on the way out, and our senior wishcraft technician will see you a week from Tuesday. Have a lovely rest of your day.